Greetings. So since my 2 minutes just started now, I'm going to speak fast. I'm sorry to my fellow students that I didn't speak this before at the last Board of Trustees meeting. I've been confused and tied up in internal debates in my head over contract education. See, the thing is, I'm worried over my sister. I convinced her recently not to attend a for-profit college because of the allure of fewer time spent at school. My worry though then became, well, she's not a DeVry or Phoenix, so how can she get the education she needs at SMC or GCC when they're cutting classes? She doesn't have priority of enrollment, and she has a daughter, my niece, to look after. I thought contract ed could be a solution for her. I couldn't think to afford otherwise. The issue became very personal for me. But after Tuesday night, not because of the pain we endured, but because of the wonderful ideas and inspiring words I heard by students with regards to this issue, I feel confident enough to say that I am truly against contract education. I just want to share that what I wish I had thought of last Tuesday night, but only came to the conclusion recently. You can't say we aren't working for our education when we pay the tuition rates every year, even as they go up. You can't say we aren't working for our education when we pay taxes which subsidize that education. This isn't a handout we are looking for. We are not, in economic terms, free riders. We are demanding that access be maintained for a public good, the public college. Ultimately, an education is of more benefit to a society than to the individual, as the education we can afford allows us to move on in society as participants in its economy and culture. We cannot allow the public institution of education to compromise its principles and purpose no more than we would allow our nation's constitution to do so. Education is so integral now, as we are discovering more and more through empirical evidence, to upward mobility, albeit how limited it may be today, that it can't be shoved by the wayside as the next thing to be exploited as a commodity. When the public college shifts the burden of cost to the individual student entirely, the public college ceases to be, and this becomes a privately funded education akin to that of a private school. Access at cost does not equate to access for all. This is an issue of separate but equal, which can be argued is inherently unequal. We want to work hard, but we need to be in school to do that. Contract education at the public college is not a viable solution because the two are inherently incompatible. Yes, the situation we are in with students being pushed out into the for-profit system is untenable, but compromising the foundation for the public education system is not the answer. Ultimately, my sister will still receive the education she needs at a community college, not a for-profit. But I know now that the solution should be to address the statewide problems or obstacles, not to adopt the model of the for-profit and the private school. I say this because, although I worried for my sister before, I worry now more for my niece. Thank you.
Thank you. Before the next speaker, could you please hold on? There is some students up on the top there that are sitting on the stair, and I need you to move from there. There's a lot of seats down here. We need to have that exit clear. And if you all come down, I want to wait until you find a seat.
There's four over here.
Great, thank you very much.
Hello, I'm David Davis. I'm also a member of the Associated Students. Firstly, I hope that no one in this room is naive enough to encourage me not to misquote them. I will read from my notes to ensure that I don't do so. You should expect by now that we record everything you say in order to honor you. Trustee David Finkel said that in his opinion, the students were not consulted and involved before this program was announced. Trustee Amanoff has stated that she believes the trustees made a mistake in not doing so. Trustee Finkel also stated that if we believe the trustees have made decisions that we feel that are inappropriate, if they have not followed their own policies, it is the remedy of their constituents to kick them out of office and find someone who can do a better job. As the eyes of the waking world, including the citizens of Santa Monica and Malibu, turn to this conversation, which has become one of outrage and exclusion, they may quickly become a reality. On Wednesday night, I went to Swingers, and the waitress knew about the contract ed system and was appalled. She sided with the students. Though the students are not your constituents, you may be facing their scrutiny. It is not too late. I recommend that this board and the superintendent cease making the mistake to exclude the voice of students, that you cease restricting their voice, and that if you do so, you will cease to destroy yourselves. I seek only a solution. Trustee Amanoff has expressed her desire to work alongside me to create an alternative to DPAC, which she does not believe has served the function the trustees hoped in this incident. It is clear that Trustee Amanoff's will has not spread to the rest of this body. Since that expressed desire by Trustee Amanoff, the incident of Tuesday night occurred, in which seats to address the trustees were restricted in advance of student arrival. I'm not interested in what your appointed committee decides happened on Tuesday night. They cannot write history. I am interested in what caused it to happen. The students and the public will continue to hold you accountable, and I will continue to offer my hand and work alongside you to create a system
sadly increasingly unable to provide such assistance and instead must inform these students that all sections of the class they need are full, if not overfull, and that there is simply nothing we can do for them. Many of us also use these moments to explain the community college funding structure in California and to urge students to express their views to the legislature. Unfortunately, this is of little consolation to students who need a class right now. I therefore find myself advising students of more expensive alternatives like UCLA Extension, and I find that many of them are leaving us to try these other options. While I fully agree, as I know you do, that we need to continue our collective efforts to increase public funding for education, I also see the very immediate needs of many of our current students. I have spoken with many students who are eager to enroll in the proposed self-funded classes, and I hope that they will be allowed to do so, especially for our winter session. I'm here today really just to thank you for your diligent, creative, and ongoing efforts to find ways to increase access to affordable higher education for our students. I realize it would be much easier for you to simply continue to cut classes as the state reduces our funding, so I commend you for your bravery, integrity, and your obvious